Okay, so welcome everybody to this week's Region Call. So as you know, I've been listening to Eric Worre once a year does a big, it's called GoPro Recruiting Mastery, and it's on in Vegas, and it's super expensive and the tickets sell out really, really quick, but you can buy tickets to live stream it. So I did that this year and they're like, I think it was like $200 or something, and I have access to live stream it for the next 4 days. So and then it expires and it's gone. I don't have it anymore, so it makes me prioritize it and get it all watched. So I've been watching it over and over again, which also makes you watch it all in one go, which is really good because you get so much information out of that total immersion into it, you know, instead of kind of like when you try to learn a language over 5 years opposed to 6 months, like you're going to know it better, if that makes sense. So super hard to pull some tips out of that for tonight. I think I've got training for the next 6 months down pat from this with topics. You should see my notebook. But tonight I thought I would talk about some top tips about making things happen. I know it's quite often in this industry that we feel very energetic and we want things to happen, and if we could get 10 parties, we would rock 10 parties. If we could get 10 tote drops, we'd rock 10 tote drops. But how can we make that happen? How can we get out there and really create that? So the number one thing that Eric Worre spoke about today that is so important in your business is to stay engaged. Stay engaged in what's going on around you. Stay engaged in the training. Stay engaged in the tips. You never know where you're going to be when you hear your $1 million idea. So just a little fun fact for, as an example of this, our Nation to Be page, Danny's Nation to Be page, there has been, I filter through that and keep it with active consultants and make sure of that, but there's over 150 consultants in there, and I can see every time I do a post that there's an average of 20 people who see the post. So 150 people have invested $2,000 each into starting their business, and that many see the post. So it comes back to that 80-20 rule I talk about all the time. When you recruit into your business, or you know, you get your preferred clients and things like that, 20% will bring you 80% of your income. And it's the same with the business. So that gives me a really good idea on my, you know, the people I see that are always seeing the posts. It gives me a good idea on who's really engaged and not wanting to miss a tip and not wanting to miss a training and not wanting to miss a piece of advice that's going to help them grow in their business. So staying engaged is super important. The trainings are super important. And I remember when I first started this business up in Mackay, it was all I had. I never missed anything. I used to plug in the morning and check it out, and then plug in at night time and check it out, and that was it. I don't have time to be on it all day. No one does. It's absolutely absurd. But I always had my finger on the pulse and just made sure I was up to date with what was going on around me. Number 2 is to own your skills. Okay, so I'm going to give you, if you've got pen and paper, I'm going to give you 7 skills that I want you to jot down. Skill number 1, finding prospects. These are the only skills needed to be a very, very successful multi-million-dollar earning network marketer. This is the only skills you need to know. Number 2, inviting. Number 3 is presenting. Number 4 is follow-up. Number 5 is closing. Number 6 is getting people started. And number 7 is promoting events. So I'll just quickly touch on them really fast. So obviously finding prospects is networking, basically finding people out there to add on to your list that you already have, keeping your list of prospects growing. Number 2, inviting, actually asking them to try your product, asking them to look at your business opportunity. 3, presenting, when you get your product presentation, when you do your Discover album, when you do your tote drop, when you present the business opportunity. Number 4 is the follow-up. Fortune's in the follow-up. The average person takes 6 to 8 exposures to join the business. The average network marketer doesn't follow anyone up past 2. and then says no one joins me. I can tell you now, all of your faces on this call, I took at least 6 to 8 to come into the business. So it's just how the business works. The fortune is 100% in the follow-up, and it's the same with your preferred clients. It's the same with everything in this business. It's all about being consistent and doing what you said you were going to do. Okay, number 5, closing. How confident are you at closing off all of these things? Number 6, getting people started. So when you do get someone started into your business and sponsor them into it, how do you get them started? Are you good at duplication? Are you passing things on efficiently? Are you being a good leader and showing them what it takes to go up? And number 7 is promoting events. So that's things like going to our Melbourne AAC, promoting that to your team to go to the Melbourne AAC. Everyone has different situations and things on, but these are super important events that will change the face of your business. They just will. It's inevitable how they work. That needs to be promoted in your business. These are the 7 key things. Eric Rowe was saying before that he remembers the stuff he used to sell and the places he used to sleep in to get to the events, to go, and to get the plane ticket to go to where he needs to go, and communing with his team, and they would stay in places that were just ridiculous and all be in bunk beds and locking up mini bars and stuff because no one could afford to drink out of them, and they're all multi-million income earners now, but it was an absolute priority, to get their butts along to these events because they are so, so powerful. You ladies on here that went to Melbourne, that saw Melbourne, would agree with me that you come back with just that stronger belief in your business again. You come back with more knowledge, and that has a sound when you talk to people about what you do. You had them pictures that went on your Facebook page that plant seeds with people to see that she's serious about what she's doing. She's making this effort about what she's doing. Now she's here, now she's there. As that starts to grow, to someone who would be seriously considering your business, it'll take a couple sets of them photos for them to realize it's not just a one-off sporadic thing. This is something that is potentially could be for me too. Okay, so I want you to really quickly, out of them 7 skills, go along next to each one of them and just honestly rate yourself out of 10 on how you think you are at them. I'll give you a couple minutes. I don't have any nice soft music to play, sorry. They did.
Is 1 the best or 10 the best?
Oh, 1
10's the best.
Sorry, 1 is the worst. So 1 is like you don't even know what product you're selling. You got to be reminded. And number 10 is you could do it in your sleep. You'd sign someone up, waking up in the middle of the night and doing a business appointment. All good. All good. Oh, sorry, Anita. 1 is finding prospects. 2, inviting. 3, presenting. Actually, finding prospects, inviting, presenting, follow-up, closing, getting people started. Probably should have used some commas. And then when you've rated each one out of 10, give yourself a total out of 70. Awesome. Love it, Jackie. That's good. So you're in the car cruising now. Yeah. Oh, you're doing well. You're obviously not driving. That would be a bit of a concern. Oh, fun. I love camping. Okay, so you've rated yourself out of 70. So I want you to just, like that's just for you to see in yourself, to see the areas that you might be able to pick up in your business to get yourself a 10 out of 10. Because if you want to recruit someone that's a 10 out of 10 or someone that's going to have the capability to become a 10 out of 10, obviously that's what we need to work on as well. So I want you to just think in your mind how long it would take for you to become a 10. So look at them skills and how long do you think it would take for you to work on each of those skills to build yourself up into a 10. Can we all agree it's probably not very long, that they're not university style skills, it's not brain surgery, they're pretty straightforward. When you really look at it, he made a point today of recognizing how straightforward these skills actually are. If you're really committed, it's something that you can work on quite quick. And he said if you don't have time to work on your skills and it's something that you can never ever seem to fit in, then that's something you might need to work on separately. That could be a mindset thing. It could be who you're hanging with sort of thing. We all work full time, so we all understand having a full-time job is hard, but generally we can fit an hour in somewhere to work on our skills to create financial freedom. So for some people, there really is a mental block there that could be their worthiness or many different things that. And he said, and I've heard this before, that if that is you and you feel like that's you, he really recommends hiring a life coach, and you can get them everywhere from all different prices to really get to the bottom of what it could be potentially that's holding you back from taking your business to the next level. But in general, if you know in your heart of hearts that you could probably just work on your skills a little bit harder, that's the first thing that you will start to work on and notice massive results in your business. And I remember for me up in Mackay, it was the moment I really took ownership of this, because I used to pass off the skills I didn't like inviting people to look at the business, and make Stacey do it. So I would find people that were interested in the business, like I would just send them a message and then line up a phone call with Stacey and make Stacey ring them and do that part, because I was too nervous and I didn't want to do it. I didn't like that part. I mean, if we had to pick one out of the 7 that we just like the most, we probably all agree it's inviting. It's actually opening our mouths and telling people what it is and asking them to have a look, and that fear of rejection kicks in and that fear of the no kicks in and all of that. But he made a point today too, and he said, but guess what? You don't have to like these skills to be great at them. The more you do it, the more that fear goes away. And it's so true. It is so, so true. And the moment that I realized I needed to take on these phone calls myself and really step it up, my business started to change quite dramatically. I was up in Mackay, as I said, so I didn't have uplines around me that I could pass anything off onto. I needed to step up and learn how to do it and take responsibility for that, become very, very independent. And when I was in this mode as well, there was no iDesign or anything where I could go to learn these skills. I had to find them on their own. So I remember just Googling personal development, network marketing development, and all these sort of things, and finding different things that would help me out. And I stumbled across Jim Rohn. I stumbled across Eric Worre. I remember on the Source sitting up all night watching Learn and Burns. And now we have iDesign, which you can filter through as well. So the places are endless where you can find these things. I really encourage you to Google and have a look and be a self-learner. You know, get excited about learning and growing your skills and what that's going to do for your business and what that's going to do for you as a person as well. Where am I up to? So set your goal for 12 months on what you want your number to be. Maybe write that down. I love how he said this. This is a bit straight home, but he said, don't lose another year. We only have so many. So what you want to be and what you want to create, start putting that into action and have that happening for you now. Go to bed at night falling asleep because you're just so tired and exhausted, not because you're laying there thinking about all these things you want to do. You should be too tired to do that. Okay, where am I up to? Oh, and when I say to learn on your skills, don't be afraid to call your uplines and find out and call up to your coach. I love hearing from everybody, and I don't necessarily have time to find people and see what's going on everywhere, but my phone goes off its head. I swear half of you guys don't even know if I need to wee or not. You're like tracking me down, you're hunting me down, you need tips, you want this, you want that, and I love that. I love it. I'm there, and I've got room for more, and I'm snapping it up and answering messages and helping with this and helping with that, and make yourself very known to me, you know, so that when I do have a spare minute, you're someone who pops into my mind that I want to call because I know that you're out and engaged in your business, and I know that you would have just done something that you probably want to reflect on, you know. So, and I used to drive Stacey insane. I swear I rang her every day. I think easy, not more, her and Kel. Okay, tip number 3, Facebook is a tool, not an addiction. Who agrees they might be a tiny bit addicted to Facebook? This is something that I had dinner the other night with Carmen on here, and we were discussing this, and it's so true how easily and quickly we can become addicted to this, and how much it can suck time out of our lives, and how frustrating it is to be with someone who's on their phone, who gets really annoyed when you go out for dinner or you go to catch up with a friend and you're trying to talk to them and they're on their phone. It's the most rude, ignorant thing. I hate it too. It drives you nuts. Don't be that person. You know, when you're with people, build relationships with people. That's something you're going to remember and cherish forever, not your Facebook newsfeed. So, and I remember Cass training this out to us yonks ago, that she would get up in the morning, do her personal power hour, and then she'd allocate 15 minutes on Facebook to quickly get herself updated on posts to see if there was any trainings coming up or what was going on, that she had them on her calendar. She knew what was going down, and then she would do a post for her team to inspire them and help them with what she just learned from her personal development that she did this morning. And then she was off Facebook. That was it. And then she'd check in again that night after dinner and do the same thing. 15-15, boom, boom. It doesn't take 2 hours to do that. And don't take your phone with you to the toilet. Don't take your phone with you when you're going to pick your kids up from school. Leave it in the car. Don't take your phone with you when you're taking your daughter to gymnastics. You know, I had to take Andy to gymnastics twice a week, and I'm conscious about leaving my phone in the car or in my bag on silent. And as soon as someone starts to talk to me, or I'm in an environment where there's people around me that want to start talking, I make sure that phone is the furthest thing from my hands so that I'll start to engage and meet people. And I look around and see probably 90% of people are on their phones. I look for the people who aren't, and I sit there and start to chat with them. Which one's your daughter? Oh, she's so cute. How long have you been doing gymnastics for? Right, start to make a conversation. I've only been doing this for a couple of weeks, but on Tuesday when I went there and sat down, one of these mums saw me and deliberately come and sat next to me, and she's like, hey, Denny. She remembered me and who I was. I wasn't one of these mums with my head stuck in the phone. I was someone to build a bit of rapport with and have a chat with. So be that person. Watch Facebook. It's something that you need to closely monitor. Deleting Facebook's hard in our industry. You know, to do that public post, you know, just tonight, this isn't in my tips, but just tonight they were talking about media, you know, and these people that were talking said in their 3 years in the business, they've personally sponsored 400 people into their business, personally through Facebook. I'm like, whoa, in 2 years I've sponsored 12. That's insane how much they've done, all from utilizing social media the right way. They said that they picked their 5 favorite things that they really like. One is your grind, is your job, is your business, what you're trying to grow on Facebook, which is network marketing. So 1, post the lifestyle that you get because of network marketing, not your product. Don't blast people and then write at the bottom of it, oh, join me, or PM me for more information, or ask me how. Don't do that. It's just be genuine about it. A bit of information out there. It's so crucial that you leave that part out. It makes the whole post look like the only reason you posted that is because you're looking for someone, not because you were genuine about it. Do you know what I mean? So just be very authentic and genuine with that, and take note of that with Facebook. But, you know, and then one of her things was fashion, and she also loves health and wellness and different things like that. You know, you might really love your horses. I know you guys post about horses. I know, Amy, you love your yoga. Post about the things that you love and give everyone that feel of who you are, and then slip in there, because that's what people will follow you for, and then slip in there the network marketing lifestyle post. You know, at the park playing with my boys, I'm glad I don't have to be at work today, loving my new business, or whatever it is that you want to post. Okay, that was off subject, so now where am I up to? This is a relationship business first and foremost. As I was just saying, you gave a really great tip today on how to re-warm up your warm market, the people that you already know that we've probably already exhausted. We've already spoken to them all. He said, just go back and give them all a call and thank them for something that they did. He said to us today, I want you to think of someone that you're extremely grateful for, something that they did for you that really changed your life or really made you feel a lot better about who you are and really lifted you up in a bad moment, and give them a call and say, you know, I was just thinking of you and I just wanted to call you and just thank you for that because I'm so grateful to have you in my life. And just leave it at that. Don't ask for $100. Don't tell them that, you know, your mentor told you to do it on this week's training. Just generally do it and reconnect with people. This is such a great way, you know, just get people back into your life again and things happening. Same on Facebook, comment on photos, like people's photos, reconnect with people and have your face known to people around you. And your intention matters. That's something to really think about. You know, if you're just doing that because you want them in your business, that they know that the result's going to be different. If you're doing it because you generally want to change who you are a little bit and you want to be a person that people like and people can lean on and that people remember made them feel better, then that's the type of person that will just glow in life naturally and just succeed naturally. It won't be something forced and tried. Okay, number 5, when you're marketing your product, sometimes we get a little bit stuck just focusing on how we can find lifelong customers and how we're going to find our next RVP or NVP or whatever it is. But sometimes we need to just strip it right back to basics and just think, who can I find to try my product today? That's it. How many people can I get in front of today to try my product? Who can I give a sample pack to? Who can I give this to? Call up your friends. Who can I practice on? I was talking to Anita today about doing the detoxes on our bodies, which are awesome. You know, the little detox packs where you do the body wraps and stuff? Does everyone know what I'm talking about? Yeah? What a great thing. You could call your friend up and say, we're doing these new detox party things that I've never done before. Can I come over and practice on you today, please? I just don't want to, I'd like to practice on someone before I go and do it. What a great way to go and show them. And then they go, oh my gosh, that really works. That's really cool. I love that. And you're going to be building rapport with them and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You can go through your pack with all the different ultimate facials, ultimate glows, the detox, whatever it is, the 30 days to healthy living, and ask all your friends if you can do a one-on-one practice with them on everything and show them everything. There's so many ways to be creative and think outside the square with things like that. So your market that you have right now, you have a cold market, a warm market, and a hot market. So Eric Worre explained the hot market as people who know you too well. They know you too well and they go, oh, she's doing another thing again. We'll see how that goes. And, you know, the ones that you need to prove it a little bit first because they know that you're a big dreamer or you've done a few different things before or whatever it is, you know, we've all got them people in our lives. And he said a great approach for the people in your hot market, because I don't know about you guys, but my hot market for me is the hardest market for me to approach. My bestest, closest friends and, you know, the people really, really close to home are the first ones that will be honest with me and say, I had my mum's 25th wedding anniversary and I hopped up to make my speech and my uncle yelled out in front of everybody there, oh, you're not trying to sell us all up on, are you? And everyone started laughing and I was like, oh man. So this is how my hot market makes me feel. If that gives you a bit of an idea. I cop it too. But he said like a great way to connect with people in your hot market is, and we all know the drill, if we haven't listened to GoPro by Eric Worre, that's number 1 to help grow your skills. But the first and foremost thing is to always be in a hurry. It's a psychological thing. People are more attracted to someone in a hurry than someone who's got all the time in the world. So be in a hurry. I'm so glad I got you. I really want to chat with you. I'm in a super rush. I'm in a big rush, or I'm just on my way out the door, or whatever it is, to wrap up the call and get to the point. And then compliment them on something. I appreciate that you're like family to me and you've always had my back. And you can do this via text. Text is a big thing today. Just say, it's not important to me that you become a distributor. It's not, you know, I'm not trying to, I don't need you in my business. I would never ask you to do that. I just really need someone to give me some good feedback on the products. That's it. And for some people you ask that too, they'll be like, well, why didn't you think of me? Why couldn't I be a distributor too? Oh, well, you can. Do you want me to tell you about it? But it's a great way to open up that phone call and, you know, I just need some really good feedback on this line, or I know you've tried this line for me, but I would love some feedback on this line, and, you know, things like that. The world has definitely changed. No one wants to talk on the phone anymore. It's like people's phone rings and everyone's like, what's that? Like someone tell you, like that's longer than a message tone. People like to text these days, which reminds me, if you don't have Voxer, please get Voxer and add me on it. It's such an easy way to keep in touch. It's super duper fast. You guys, some of you guys on here are like the Voxer queens, but it's super fast. It's much quicker than texting. It's a great way for us to communicate and still be able to hear our enthusiasm and things like that as well. But he said, if you make 100 phone calls, you're probably going to get 90 message banks. If you send out 100 texts, you'll get 90 back. People like to text back. They know it's rude not to text back. Okay, generally. And if it might take them a couple of days to text back, but then they'll text back and say, I'm sorry that I haven't texted you back, I was doing this, or whatever it might be. But people will always text back at some point, 9 times out of 10. And if they're really, really rude people, you know who they are, that don't text you back, and then they text you and you're like, well, you know what, I'm just not going to text you back because you don't text me back. But texting is a way of the future. We've got to learn to move with it, learn to be a good texter, learn your skills so that you're sending the correct text. The next skill, number 7, number 1 thing taught at Harvard, this is, the lady who presented this was an amazing lady. She was hilarious. And she said that is to make a decision. If you make a perfect decision, you're well on your way. If you make the wrong decision, you learn and you grow. The worst place to be in is indecisive. You're either in it or you're not. You're either a professional or you're not. Decide what you want to do and give it a go and grow your skills. And, you know, sitting on the fence and just keeping on putting your big toe in the Arbonne River and just, you know, and then pulling it back out again, like it's just, you're probably not going to go upstream. You know, you got to dive in and go with the current. Okay, that was pretty cool. I just made that up. This is funny. Anyway, sorry guys. Number 8, goal setting. Do you know, it's a fact, only 5% of the world write down their goals. 5%. Be in that 5%. I cannot stress that enough. It's insane. I can guarantee that 5%, they didn't start off very, very successful, but they finished up very successful. Always write your goals down at night time. Check over them in the morning. See what might need altering. Keep this fresh in your mind so that you're always focused on the opportunity and why you're there. And set big goals. Dream big. Like the sky is the limit. Review your goals and be like, you know what, is that really what I want, or could I take that a step further? You know, like I remember Donna Johnson saying she wrote down she would love to create an orphanage. And then she had a look at a list and she's like, you know what, I'd love to create 5, and crossed it out and wrote 5 orphanages. She now has 5 orphanages all over the world that she pays 100% for. How incredible is that? So, and when she wrote that down, she was a brand new consultant. I love that story. So write your goals big, and a little tip there is you're playing small doesn't serve the world. That's what, I can't remember her name. It was Gloria. Can you remember her last name? Mayfield Banks, that's it. That presented that. She was an incredible lady. And number 10, the hardest skill to acquire is where you give it your all, where you just give it your absolute everything until you're so tired you're falling down. And that comes with passion. You know, she said a great way to know if you're in passion about what you're creating is you fall into bed at night and you're excited to get up in the morning. If you're not in passion, you go to bed at 10 o'clock and you say, oh, I'm so tired, and you lay down and, you know, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's a great way to gauge. You might need to find your passion. There's a great book called It Starts With Passion. Do you remember the author's name? Can you type it in or say it, or I can't think of it. I've got Abraham Lincoln in my head. That's not what it is. Keith Abraham, that's it. We got it. It's here. Oh, just got to grab the book for me. Thank you. I knew it had Abraham in it. Yeah, that's it. This is it here. Thanks. It's an awesome book to help you start to engage in that and feel that motivation. But once again, you need to do it every day, you know, your 10 pages every day, because reading 10 pages and then stopping for 6 months and going back again. It's not going to cut the cake. So discipline yourself to do your 10 pages every day. And he broke it down. I didn't write down exactly what it was, but he said reading 10 pages of a book every day adds up to 15 to 20 books a year. Can you imagine your brain if last year, if you added another 15 to 20 books on top of that? Can you imagine the numbers next to your skills, how that could grow, how your people skills could grow, which are your most important primary skills to develop in the business, are your people skills. People may not always remember your name, but they will remember how you made them feel. And that's so true. You know yourself when you go back to it somewhere and you see that person that last time you had a laugh with and she just made you feel good, you'll immediately go there. You know, if you did that product presentation and you really liked the lady who did it and she made you feel good about yourself, you'll want to see her again. You'll be happy when she rings, you'll be smiling to answer the call. That is the biggest skill you need to work on in this business. There's another great book called How to Win Friends and Influence People. I can't remember the author, but I'm pretty sure it shouldn't be too hard to find. But that's a brilliant, brilliant book that will really, really help you in this business. It's not when you get knocked down, it's when you get back up. Commit to being prepared. It's better to be prepared for an opportunity and not have one than not be prepared and have one. How true is that? I just wanted to share that little quote. Okay, 5 ideas and things that we can put into action tonight. I'm only a little bit over time. It's not too bad. Number 1, so a few things you could do, you know, just choose one of these things that you could do tonight before you go to bed to make yourself feel that sense of progression in your business and know when you get up tomorrow you've got a few things that you're ready to take action on. Write out your markets list. So write out, you know, some cold, some warm, and some hot people who you've already asked. Cross them out, you know, or who's a maybe. Highlight all the maybes because they're the ones that you want off the list. You know, if they're a yes or a no, cross them off. But mainly write out your maybes, if that makes sense. Who are you going to practice on? Who are you going to offer the business to? Who can you ring up and say, can I practice a business appointment on you? Many different little things like that you can do there. Would you be one of my 10 customers? Was something he used today. So call your friend and say, you know, I'm just chasing 10 customers. I really need some good product feedback. And, you know, maybe you could offer your ASVP packs through that, or personally select 10 people in your hot market that are super close to you. Offer them an ASVP pack at a consultant price. You're not making any initial money off it, but you're getting them into their hands. You're getting them loving it. And, you know, find 10 people that you're going to ring and offer that to. Say, will you be one of my 10 exclusive people that I can give this deal to? I would love some really good feedback, and I know that you'll be really honest with me and not just tell me that it's good. You'll tell me exactly what you loved about it and what you might not have or whatever, so that I can grow my business with that. I'd really appreciate the help. Number 3, the gratitude phone calls that I said earlier, reconnecting with people. Just make a phone call a day to someone just to connect and say hello, and you're thinking of them, you missed them, you hope they're going well. Select that window, that 10-minute window where you're going to reach out on Facebook, where you're going to like some posts and comment on some people's posts and just be seeing it. And, you know, when someone likes your post, the first thing you do is go, oh, it's really nice of them. I like them a little bit better now. And then you want to like their posts when their post comes up. So the same thing, when you like their post, that's going to encourage them to want to like your posts and read your posts and take your posts in as well. Number 4, you could write down some goals for tomorrow. I always do this every night before I go to bed. I write down my 5 top things that I want to do tomorrow that will help grow my business. You know, that could be, if you don't do 10 pages a day, start doing 10 pages a day. Start with an audio, 10-minute audio in my car. He said as well, listening to audios in the car, I can't remember the distance, I think it was like 20 minutes a day or so many miles a day. And he said by the end of that, that is equivalent to a 4-year university degree, the amount of audio information in 1 year played in your car. So these are all little windows and gaps of time that we can be growing our mind and growing our skills that will help us, you know, move forward in the business. So utilize them little moments instead of filling our head with rot and magazines and the news and the radio singing about Now Watch Me Nene or whatever that stupid song is. I hate that song. And number 5, is, this is just a little tip that I've done and I'm excited to see the results of. Write notes for your kids at school. So if your child's at school, or if you don't have this, there might be somewhere else that you can think of a business workplace or something where you can write a note and say, I'm just offering to be the gift buyer for, Mrs. Bertrand, that's my teacher's name, and Mrs. Strain, that's the other lady, and I was just wondering if you'd like to participate. I'm just going to collect $5 off everybody for each teacher, and I'm going to put some pamper baskets together for them to say thank you for such a great year. I didn't mention Arbonne. You don't need to mention Arbonne, just that that's what you're doing, and pop it in their bags. So a great way, I can guarantee your teachers will probably become your preferred clients after indulging in some beautiful products and a nice basket. And when you carry them baskets in, all the parents are going to go, oh, what's this? What do you do? Oh, that's so cool that's where that went. So that could be your boss at work. Talk to your mates that you in your work environment and say, what do you think about getting our boss this, or your childcare teacher, or, put your thinking hat on about whereabouts you could put that out there as well. So, yeah, the last quote that she finished on, that, what was her name again, Leah? I can't remember her name. Gloria Mayfield Banks, that's it. Was always remember that there are two groups of people, those who are glad they did and those who wish they did. So go back to that skill and make a decision on where you want to be, which I think is such a great way to end up. Some awesome tips. So that's it from me for tonight. I did pretty good. I'm only 8 minutes over. Do you guys have any questions that you want to share? Let me just check the chat bubble. Oh, yep. All good. No worries. No worries at all. Thanks so much for plugging in, guys. It's so good to see you guys on, the faces of the future. No, that's awesome. If you have any questions, you know where I am. Jump on Voxer, message me anytime. I love to hear from you guys, and I'll post the recording up tonight. Have a great night. Bye.